How's it going, everybody? Mr. Holton here, and I hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am, because Larian just dropped a pretty big teaser on the future of Baldur's Gate 3. And you know what? We're getting future content. Now, before I start rambling here, I just want to warn you that if you haven't played through Baldur's Gate 3 yet, and if you haven't gotten to the ending, or the endings, then maybe you should stay away for now, because Larian does spoil a couple of things regarding the endings here, or well, they tease a couple of things here, and you see some footage from some new content that's coming. And this is especially important for Dark Urge players. So if you're doing a Dark Urge playthrough and you haven't gotten to the ending yet, well, now you know. So Larian starts off saying, "Hey gang, it's been a whirlwind few months here at Larian Castle, attending some of the biggest awards ceremonies in our industry, and we are absolutely humbled by the recognition we've received from our players and peers." Of course, if you've been following this channel, or if you've been following the Larian news and the Baldur's Gate 3 news, Larian has essentially been winning every single prize out there for Baldur's Gate 3, and they even recently set a record for the amount of wins during the big award shows, which they go into in this post as well. Here, for example, we see that they won the BAFTA Awards, of course, which is one of the more important award shows. At least according to Larian, it's the most important one to them. And here we see they won in the categories Performer in a Supporting Role, Music, Best Game, Narrative, and Player's Choice. As you may have seen, last week we attended the BAFTA Games Awards 2024, donning our nicest pair of pants to accept awards recognizing Baldur's Gate 3 for Narrative, Music, Performer in a Supporting Role, and Drew Winscott as Raphael. Damn! The publicly voted Player's Choice Award and Best Game. This is the 5th major Game of the Year trophy Baldur's Gate 3 has been awarded since launch, alongside awards from Golden Joysticks, Game Developer's Choice, DICE, and the Game Awards. As far as we can tell, that makes Baldur's Gate 3 the first game in history to win Game of the Year at every major award show. So essentially, Baldur's Gate 3 is the most acclaimed game to exist. It just is. Needless to say, our heads are still spinning, our hearts 2 sizes too big, and our mums are thrilled. What a remarkable journey this has been, and we couldn't have done it without you. Of course, Larian being the humble bunch again. You folks were the first to have faith in us, and for that we are eternally grateful. Every comment, livestream, meme, and piece of art you created through Baldur's Gate 3's development let us know we were onto something special long before any of this. Awards are of course appreciated, but it's the community that has been the true source of our resilience while we were making this game. Whether you've been active since the halcyon days of the Astarian body pillow, or are a long-time veteran of early access, whether you've participated in our Panel from Hell live streams or discovered the game after launch, thank you for supporting Baldur's Gate 3 and helping to nurture this community of wonderful weirdos. It's meant the world to us. And here we get a sweet little compilation of all the devs here together. Of course, we're getting into it. So what's next for Baldur's Gate 3? We still have a few tricks up our sleeve. We're working on our next update, patch 7, which will add improved evil endings to the game for even darker conclusions to your most sinister playthroughs. And yes, that includes you non-Dirge players. Say what now? Well, okay, that's nice. Without giving too much away, here's a little teaser for what's to come. Be warned, there may be spoilers. Of course, here we see the Dark Urge using some form of mind blast, of course, to control all of these people in Baldur's Gate. If you've gotten to the ending, you know what's sort of going on here, kind of. Not going to give too much away here. Then we have this one. This looks freaky as hell, okay? So this is also Dark Urge. This is, yeah, okay. I can't, I can only imagine what's going on here, but this looks rad as hell. And the thing is, I understand why they're adding this, because people have been, as far as I can tell, now I haven't always followed the community all the time because, you know, I have YouTube as my job. I have a lot of things to keep track of and do videos on other games and stuff. But as far as I can tell, people have been sort of let down by the evil endings or evil playthroughs. They're just not as interesting at the end of the day as just normal TAV playthroughs, I guess. So they're really spicing it up. They're really adding meat to the Dark Urge playthroughs and the evil playthroughs in general, which makes me even more interested in in continuing my evil playthroughs, because I'm just one of those people that I just have a really hard time playing as evil character because I just don't work that way. I have a really hard time choosing decisions that are really horrible. But this looks super cool, and I really want to see what happens next. Anyway, what's the best way to get the bloodstains out? These new cinematic cutscenes have also been given new musical treatment by our own very BAFTA award-winning composer, Borislav Slavov, the boss himself. The soundtrack is just so amazing. I actually listened to this for a bit. Now I'm not going to play it here because I don't want to get copyright claim, but I'm going to add this to the link in the description. You guys can check this out. March of the Darkness is a new song. It's freaking badass. You guys gotta try. You guys gotta check it out. So yeah, add it to the link in the description. Anyway, this one gives us shivers. Me too, man. Patch 7 also aims to fix several bugs that you have reported, including Jaheira's unwillingness to follow the group and jump into combat, Will's less than romantic greetings, as well as the mysteriously disappearing narrator lines from the Gortash and Dark Urge confrontation, to name a few. I'm a little confused there about what's going on there, but it's fine. It's fine. It's not too much of a spoiler. This next patch will also begin introducing our official modding tools. There we go. I've talked about this several times before because Larian has confirmed they're working on modding tools, letting you change up visuals, animation, sound, stats, and more to overhaul Baldur's Gate 3 into the weird nightmare realm of your dreams. But it's super cool because official modding tools are going to make sure that people on consoles are going to be able to use mods at the end of the day, hopefully at least. As far as I can remember, that's what Larian has said, at least, that it's going to be supported for all platforms. So, hey, that's super cool. And just having official modding support is going to enable this sort of communication between both Larian and modders to create some really awesome mods in the future. Beyond patch 7, we will continue focusing on bug fixes, performance enhancements, and stability improvements to ensure you have the best possible gaming experience. As always, they keep fixing essentially everything. I know that there are bugs that get introduced every now and then whenever they release these big patches, because there's always something that breaks whenever you do that. Unfortunately, it's a huge game, so that's kind of bound to happen, but I just love seeing them keep churning out these big patches in order to fix other ones that keep breaking. And again, there are so many things that can happen in Baldur's Gate 3 that I completely understand why it's hard to fix every single bug because it's just so big. Continuing, by the way, and yes, we are also actively working on bringing crossplay and a photo mode to Baldur's Gate 3. But the work required to bring these to you means that these additions will likely be further down the road. I don't know how much work it takes to actually add photo mode, but it's probably harder than one might expect. You guys can leave a comment below if you know the process to adding that to a game. Crossplay, of course. I mean, obviously you want to be able to play with your friends on Xbox, maybe if you're playing on PlayStation, or if you want to play with someone on PC, of course. So obviously we want that. That's also gonna increase the life of the game because people are going to be able to play with each other across platforms. So of course, that's just going to bring more people to the game. Continuing, learning from our journey with you, it's no secret that game dev is one gigantic learning curve, but it's these learnings and your feedback that help us improve. So we are introducing additional internal playtesting ahead of releases to support our regular QA processes. With patch 7 being packed full of bug fixes and new features we've yet to go into detail on, there will also be a closed beta on PC, where a select number of players worldwide will be given the opportunity to test the latest update, which we'll talk about more in the coming weeks. That is pretty cool. That is something I think they really should have had from the very get-go, just to make sure that the game runs as well as possible with these patches so people can really test it out. I'd love to be one of these beta testers. Larian, you guys can send me a copy, please. But yeah, this is just a great idea nonetheless, because it's just going to make sure that the patch runs smoother this time around when it releases. Looking to the future, being given the chance to develop a game set in the Dungeons & Dragons universe has been a dream come true for all of us, but as Sven recently confirmed, we won't be introducing any major new narrative content to the story of Baldur's Gate 3 or its origin characters and companions, nor will we be making expansions or Baldur's Gate 4. Technically, you can say that most of these patches have introduced enough content where you could sort of see it as a smaller expansion, but I get it, right? It's sad, but I'm just glad they get to work on their next game, and I can't wait to see what that is. As an independent studio since 1996, we value the freedom to follow our creativity wherever that leads. In this case, after 6 years in the Forgotten Realms and much discussion and rumination, we've decided to seize this opportunity to develop our own IPs. We're currently working on 2 new projects, and we couldn't be more excited about what the future has in store. I knew they were working on 1 game, but 2? It's still early days. We'll tell you more about those later down the line, but know that even as our focus turns to these new games, the sensibilities that brought you Baldur's Gate 3 are alive and well here at the Larian Castle. We're fueled by the very same fire in our bellies, one that drives us to create immersive experiences shaped by our choices, and we can't wait for you to join us on this next adventure. If you have any worries about our change in direction, then perhaps this'll help. I don't know if we're gonna be able to pull it off, but looking at our narrative, visual, and gameplay plans, I think what we're working on now will be our best work ever. Holy shit. I get excited like a kid watching the key imagery, want to show it to everyone now and grumble in frustration at having to wait until it's actually all working. Yes, it's all hype, but it's hype because it really looks and feels good. Excited, Sven. April 17th, yesterday that is, 2024. Oh my God, I can't wait to see what they're working on. That just sounds so good. That's the thing, you know, you can actually trust Sven on this because he's just been true to his word basically at every turn. So, you know, when he says that he's hyped about something that he's passionate about, we should be too. Everybody should be. Anyway, I'll be breaking down the patch when it finally does release, so if you haven't subscribed yet for that, then remember to do so. And do let me know what your thoughts are on this in the comments below. As always, have a great day. Mr. Olton, signing out.